So yesterday I had a question in my Discord about how to execute a fastest possible Portuguese Scouts rush using the most recent berry change that they got. So what Portuguese got is they get this berry bonus where they generate 33% of the berries that they collect in wood. So every 3 berries that the villagers collect, they will put 1 wood into your stockpile. So it's really, really useful because this allows you to go mill first instead of lumber camp first, and then still get the lumber camp a little bit later because you can't really just rely on the berry income. And yeah, so you're able to get 3 scouts out. So 3 additional scouts. You have 4 scouts. You also get horse collar for all of your farms with this, and you're up on 17 villagers. So that's 18 pop. It's a really fast build, so let's get into it. And I'll show you how it's done. This build, it is definitely viable at high level. It's a solid build, and in terms of execution, I'd say it's more like intermediate level. You probably are gonna have a good time if you're above around 1100 or so. It requires a few little execution things in Dark Age though that are different compared to other builds, so it can take a little bit of practice. But at least the Dark Age is short, so there aren't as many steps. So anyways, we start off with just the standard 6 on sheep. Pretty simple stuff here. And so yeah, we want to be scouting with most of the sheep because we actually only take 2 sheep with this build until we take the boars. So we take those the 2 sheep like this. 6 on sheep. Next villager goes to berries, and it looks like the berries are over here. So while we send a villager to berries, we want to be bringing in the boar. So we can bring in the boar just about here, and it will come in on time. Oh, I could have taken the other one that was here, but it should still work out pretty well. So you want to get used to this kind of timing, where you're not using an actual villager to bring in, or like a villager out of the TC to bring this in. Now we can hit it with 5 in and then 6. That is the most optimal way to kill the boar, is to garrison 5 and then garrison the luringville and then shoot it with the 6. So you shoot it with 5 arrows in the TC and then 6, and then you on garrison and it kills it. So we don't actually need to have any deer push for this. And we don't even need elephant rhino or anything. So it's just, this is like worst case scenario in terms of food. If you push deer, if you have elephant rhino, you're just going to have extra, which is awesome. So we have our 4 on berries. Next up is to take a little bit of straggler tree. And this just allows us to get enough wood for the lumber camp. Now we want to wait until we're about here on the board to bring in the other one. It's maybe a little early, but you know, better safe than sorry, as they say. So you definitely want to get this second boar in before this one, well, just as this one's finishing optimally, but yeah, you know, just about here anyways. Could wait a little bit longer, but it doesn't really matter too much. And then we get it like that. So I went just 3 this time. We can actually put those on there. It's fine, they're close enough. This guy was supposed to go out here, so we want to have 3 on wood. So this villager will actually transfer to the wood line here in just a sec. And now we just load up the boar. So basically she has enough. We transfer her here. We build the lumber camp. And we can shift Q to the corner tiles. And then, yeah, we're just loading up the boar until we have 17. So we can queue up loom here. And if everything was pretty efficient, we should be able to go up here once this boar finishes. So let's wait and see. I just have auto scout on. Usually I'd be scouting my opponent, all that. But, you know, we don't need to pay too much attention to that here. Just stack a sheep. If you guys don't know how to stack a sheep, you select the sheep, select the vills, right-click the boar, and then the sheep will go to the center, and then you shift Q to the sheep, and then they'll go to the sheep once they are done. And unfortunately, this villager is not being very smart. She has to go here. Okay, so let's pause. So look at this. We have loom. Comes in a little bit faster as Portuguese, so you have to be a bit careful. But look, we have enough food to go up. All we need to do is just force drop some berries. Like you can see that we have We have enough. We just force drop these two. Be able to go up, force drop this a little bit. So on the way up, what we want to do is we want to have a second lumber camp. So as soon as that boar finishes, what we want to do, send one villager here. We want to garrison 4. We don't want to garrison a weak one, but here, let's see. We'll garrison these 4 and send them to a second lumber camp. I didn't really scout it. I would have scouted in an actual game. I usually wouldn't go for the forward one. I would usually go for this one. So yeah, I will go for this one. And then, yeah, we'll get to it. So here, let's unpause. Beautiful. So we want to have 4 on 2 lumber camps. And that will give us the perfect income. So you see we're at 18 out of 20. We actually don't want to get the house until we get the stable up. Because it's so tight that we actually don't have enough wood to get that up. So, yeah. And we don't need the house yet anyways. So here we go. Going up. What we want to do is use a shepherd to build the barracks. Very important. So we will get this guy to go out. I didn't really set up my walls super well, but we want to have it started at 60%, so we can get it like here. There we go. And that'll work. Just fix those guys a little bit. And yeah, as soon as we're up, we want to have a second villager out here to build the stable as well. So we don't want to touch the woodcutters. This is... the woodcutters are specifically like you need aid on both lumber camps and the berries to be always working. So if you do get taken off by like a drush or something, then you should go up one villager later because you'll have the wall and you won't have the resources. So oh no, come on AI, come on AI, don't do this to me. Well, we'll bring the scout back and find those. We didn't need them right away, so we can get double bit axe right away. It's fine. And right here, we need to have the house coming up with a different villager. And yeah, it should be pretty good. So the villagers that you send, they can just go to sheep for now. You'll send them to stragglers, and you'll be getting horse collar and all that. Okay, we got the sheep back. So we got the scout, or we got the stable up. These vills can just come back here. And now you're just playing like normal feudal play. Who's idle? So kind of normal feudal play from here. We want to get another house so that we don't get housed. And yeah, hopefully we can get these back on time because it's kind of necessary in order to spam scouts, as you can see. So we don't actually need to get horse collar yet because, yeah, we want to make one more scout before we get horse collar. Okay, good. We got these sheep back on time. Very important. We might as well get another house here because she's already here. Might as well. And as you can see, they're the 3, or well, this one's in the queue, but you'll see that we'll have enough. Next up is going to be horse collar. So once we get this this villager, next up, instead of queuing a scout here, we're gonna go horse collar. You know what we can do is just make 2 more here. It's not the biggest deal. Instead of sending her all the way back, it can be efficient to just do it like that. So yeah, we have just enough sheep here to get the horse collar upgrade, and you'll see that we're floating a lot of wood, but that's kind of okay here because we will be making all horse collar farms, and that's going to give us a very strong castle age. So horse collar actually comes in a little bit faster with this civ too because their research is all coming faster. So we want to get these farms down as soon as we can. After horse collar's done, these villagers can all just go to straggler for now. And now it's just really standard feudal play. So we're just basically making farms, sending to the straggler trees. In an actual game, I would be using these scouts to harass or whatever. So yeah, we go out, and the fastest uptime that I was able to achieve was 32 plus wheel. So when I was testing, I got 32 plus wheel. So let's see what we are gonna get here, because we want to start sending to the gold pretty soon. We don't quite need to do it like around 13 farms here. This is about right. We can get like 1 more here. That'll still be fine. And yeah, we can start sending to the gold. So the last 5 villagers in this age, in feudal age, should go to gold. Just in general, for like a scouts build, if you want to take gold right at the end, You go last 5, and then you get wheelbarrow, and it should work out. Although, with Portuguese, wheelbarrow does go in faster, so you do need to send a little bit more. So we're going to send one of the berryvilles there. And what you can do, if you have the berries near a wood line, like they can go to a wood line, or you can use them to make more farms. I'm just going to use them to make more farms here. This ville can go here. At this point, it's kind of like you would have adapted to the situation a lot, so it's not going to be as consistent at this point anyways. Like, we're just kind of doing feudal macro here. We can even send him out here. You really need to not forget the blacksmith as well. So that's something that's really easy to forget with scouts builds, because it's like you don't really use it for anything, but you do need it as a prerequisite to go up. So in an actual game, you would probably want to have a little bit more walls. Like, your opponent would have to be playing really greedy for you to get away with no walls and only 4 scouts. So you'd either have to be spamming more scouts or more walls. So it wouldn't go this smooth in an actual game, like ever. But yeah, I mean, you just have to adapt in terms of adding more scouts or making walls. You could even add a range at some point if you feel it's necessary. Adding a tower on gold, that's definitely good if you're up against archers and you don't want to add skirms. Like, tower on the gold, no problem. So yeah, those are the things that you can do. And looks like we're gonna be maybe a little short on food here. Not the biggest deal, but it's pretty close. You know, if you see that you're just a little bit off, you just get 1 more ville, even 2 more villes if you want. And yeah, then you go up. So double check the eco text just to make sure. I always like to do that. And we can probably force drop here and go up. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, worth it to go up here. And then the follow-up is gonna be just knights here. We already have the sable, so it's really easy to follow it up. And so for knights, I like to go 10 on gold and between 15 and 17 farms. So we have 16. Beautiful. So we can get the second stable out here, maybe make some little walls here. That's kind of how I would have it set up. Maybe even a little further in front of the stone would have been good. Like, I could have put the stable a little further, then we have a bit more space. But it's fine like that. We want to get bloodlines. Oh, first we want to get gold mining upgrade before bloodlines. You can get bloodlines, like, say that I'm harassing with these scouts. Getting bloodlines here is pretty okay, because then say that I find like a villager or even some spearmen, you can start taking those fights with bloodlines. So I would get forging here. Unless I'm up against archers, I'm going to take a fight. Probably not. Forging is going to help me pick off random villagers and random spearmen with these. Because if I thin out the spearmen numbers, then the knights show up and he has less spearmen if his plan is to go pikes. So sometimes it is good to pick off the spearmen if they're separated, if you can take a really good fight. So yeah, from here, it's just make the 2 stable knights, go forward. You could even go forward with siege. The standard play would be to add TCs as well. So we have this 10 on gold. I didn't really think about exactly where I'd make TCs, but like down here would be good. I didn't really leave a palace. Oh wait, oh, I left a hole here the entire time. Okay, well, anyways, we can go out that way. We want 1 on wood and then 1 on gold usually. If you can get the double TC, that's even better though. So I like to use the gold villas first though to do this. Oh, we didn't get armor, but whatever. So we want to make a TC with these villas first. We can just make it there. It's fine. Because you see how we're floating a lot of gold? So that'll allow us to spam knights for a while we get the TCs going. And so yeah, the next TC could go down here probably. And we just get it here. And yeah, you see that we're spending quite a bit. And oh, what? Oh, they both... Just the way that I set up my walls, they're both spawning on the inside. Oh, that was not very good. But anyways, you basically do it like this. Oh, nice pathing. This guy's like trying to figure it out, but he can't figure it out. Yeah, from here it's pretty standard stuff. You just harass with these. You can decide to get husbandry at some point. Like I like to get husbandry maybe around now. Especially if I'm up first, I like to get husbandry a bit earlier, because then I can even chase down Scout Cav and chase down his units that are kind of on the map. So stuff like that. You can decide when you want to get the extra armor upgrades. Like if you're going to take a fight against crossbowmen, then you can cancel your knights and just get armor and then take a fight. Otherwise, at this point, we're just kind of booming. So we have a little bit too much gold here, but you can get a market. Like I could get a market here. We have 16 villagers on farms with wheelbarrow, and that's exactly the number that you need to maintain production of 3 town centers for villagers. So if we maintain the TCs here in terms of like with the food, then we won't be spending the gold, because then we're not making knights, we're just making these. So we have to add more farms if we're going to actually continue to spam knights, because we want to switch to eco mode now. Basically, we make our knights for a little bit of map control here. The opponent can't really do anything about those. We're booming, so we can just run around with the knights, prevent any forwards or anything, harass the opponent, keep him back while we boom, and then we add knights later. So that's usually how it's going to play out here. We could go for a siege push as well, but you can't really go for a siege push when you're trying to boom on 3 TCs right away. You could go for it a little later, but it's kind of hard to make the siege push work later in Castle Age. Unless you spam a lot of units, but going for a castle drop later in Castle Age can be good, especially on the way up to Imperial Age. And yeah, but in this situation, like, I would probably just get a market here. We might as well just play a little bit more. Like, I would just go for a market right up here, something like that. We want to just keep the TCs running. We can spam a few more knights just while we, before this TC comes up. But yeah, you see, like, that knight delayed me here. So we'll just put them on wood. And at this point, it's just like in Feudal Age when we were spamming the farms down every 60 wood. It's like that's basically we're in farm mode here. So the macro, it needs to be pretty solid at this stage because we are paying attention to the military, and then also we want to be still spending the wood every 60 wood if possible. And then we'll eventually be floating a little bit of food here, so we'll be able to get more upgrades, we'll be able to get all this stuff. So we can buy quite a bit of food here, and that can help a lot. So what we can do with the food, we can get bow saw, we could get heavy plow, because remember, all these farms are about to expire, right? So it's actually a good time, even before adding these 4, could go for heavy plow, and then we're going to be prepared for that. So we don't want to get housed too. Actually, we're going to get a little housed here. So yeah, knowing when your horse collar farms are going to wear off and then going for heavy plow before that is actually really strong. Like, look at this. There we go. Heavy plow is going to be in for this. So we definitely could have gotten it before these 4 farms. But yeah, it works out really well. And with Portuguese, I mean, you do have the faster researches as well, so going for the hand card upgrade can be really strong as well at this stage. Wheelbarrow especially, that's mainly the one that's limited by how fast it goes, but hand card as well, and it still does take TC time. Oh, why did I put it behind this one? Okay, anyways, there we go. So as long as we can keep these running, and look, the wood income is kind of insane with 28 on wood. We just can replace everything, so that's kind of how you want to do it. We're just kind of making the farms until we get around 30 of them, and then it'll be about time to click up to the Imperial Age. Obviously, you have to adapt again, just depending on what the opponent does. You might want to make more knights instead of more villagers. You might stop villagers entirely, go to stone, and go for a castle drop. Like, there's many things that you can do, but yeah, that requires a little bit more game sense, a little bit beyond the scope of this video. And I think that's basically all I wanted to show. This is pretty much how you would just 3TC boom at this point. But yeah, pretty solid build. And yeah, I think I'll be using this a lot more. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you later.